Hey guys, it is Karen, and I am working on another Kitty Wars page. This afternoon. And I just thought I'd throw the stream on as I worked. For a little bit. This is page 5. I'm not sure I like that. Let's snag this. Move it over. So I did this hand lettering. With a downloaded brush, and now I'm going to neaten it up because wrong layer. I like the shape of the brush, but I don't like how it's like transparent, and it wasn't perfect. So I'm just cleaning it up, and then I'll fill it in and either keep an outline or make it a solid white. We'll see. I'm still trying to figure out ways, like I'm getting more comfortable in ClipStudio with lettering, but I'm still not 100% happy with it in certain ways. I don't like that S. My output is low and nobody's really on the stream. I wonder if I'm gonna have to call AT&T again. Oh, it's so frustrating. I don't know how to fix it, you guys. I don't know how to fix it. And it's annoying too because we're paying for good internet, you know? We're paying for internet and we are not getting the quality that we're paying for. So that's frustrating. All right. Now, oops. The question is, do I want to keep the lines or do I want to fill it in? So I'll make another layer. First I'm going to expand this by 0.10 millimeters, I guess, whatever. Make a layer under it, and let's fill it in white first. Now turn this off. Was that tool set not to be anti-aliased? That's annoying. Yeah, it was the anti-aliasing was turned off. So I'll turn that on, then expand it. Then mother pus bucket, what did I do wrong here? I need to add another layer is what I need to do. I deleted that layer. All right. There, now it's nice and clean. Sort of nice and clean. But this is more like print size, so now the other option is to select it . God bless it. Come on now. Let's go back to the deselect. I want it selected. I want this turned off. I'll put this on and throw down a gradient. Let's see how this would work. I think I kind of like that. But the question is, should I put the line on it or not? There's black line. There's no line. Do I even need this? Wait. Do I even need this? Maybe I don't need it so bright. I don't know what I just did there. Okay. Let me try one more thing. Oh no, that wouldn't work there. What is that? I don't need that on. Well, I feel like maybe I do need that on because I have the pats are lined in black, so I think I'll just leave it like that. You know, sometimes I really overstress on this stuff. It's annoying. All right, now move on to the next panel. I have to let me undo this and throw this down into gray and see. I was like picking colors, but now I'm kind of like, you know, I should just use the colors. Well, it's gonna, never mind. You guys don't need to know. I'm talking I'm randomly talking. All right, I'm gonna turn this off briefly. What I need to do is I need to color this layer here. So this page finally introduces the other character. This is like you get to see the cat that was in the first two. This is page 5, and in the first few pages, you did not get to see this cat, so this is her first appearance. And this cat's name is Artemis. And she's rather neurotic, as most cartoon characters are. So, like I said before, I don't know in my last stream about this comic. This is more like a classic gag strip. And way back when, in the very olden days of yore, I did 50 strips. And so I'm currently redrawing I'm redrawing them, and I'm making them into a 6x9 book for my kid. 50 strips is only going to be 50 pages, so I'm probably going to have to do a few more before I can release the book. And these first 5 pages I had redone onto Pastic. But when I get into the other ones, it's going to be very different because I haven't touched those for like, I don't even know, freaking 10 years or something. I mean, these are old. I don't even know how old they are. When I get into the file, I'll have to dig into my old, I'll have to find the original zip files, the original JPEGs, and that's on it's on a different external hard drive from from way back. So hopefully I still have them, or else I'm going to be very sad. All right, now, let's see, I'm going to pick the same colors from this box onto this box. I should just use the eyedropper, the magic wand picker to pick this off of the line art, but sometimes it's just, then I'd have to go back and forth between layers, and that's sort of annoying, and sometimes it's just easier to stay on one layer and use your lasso, although I think it would be faster if I went back and forth. But it's always a question when making art. Is faster worth the annoyance? Is it worth the annoyance? If it's worth the annoyance, then do it. If it's not worth the annoyance, then go slow. And because I'm not going to Kickstarter this or anything, I'm just going to put it up on print on demand. Well, I don't know, maybe I'll Kickstart it. I don't think that many people would be, I don't know, should I Kickstart it? I didn't even think about that. I was just going to throw it up on print on demand, which is why I'm doing it in black and white. Because it's cheaper. If I wanted to print this whole thing in color, it would be a lot more expensive to print, and I'd have to charge more for the books, and you know. I'm thinking of making it into a Kindle book too. And I know that image heavy books are bigger size as far as like megabytes or whatever, gig, megs, whatever, however big your thing is. And I know that then you start running into download fees, like on Amazon. Like they'll start charging you for how big the file is. And that will also eat into your profit. So if it's black and white, I'm assuming also that it will be easier, smaller file size and easier to download. So I could actually turn this into a Kindle book, which I'm probably going to do. But yeah, like I said, I didn't think about kickstarting this. I've never kickstarted anything myself personally, and I'm really nervous to do that. I don't know that like anybody would actually support Packet. So I don't know. We'll see what it looks like when it's done, and I guess I'll make that call. But for now, it is just going to be print on demand when I'm done with it. And I will print a copy for my son. I'm still not 100% happy with the effects on this page. But all it really needs to do is tell a story, right? So, I've got schmutz on my glasses. It might be that I don't like this. Where is it? It's in this layer here. I don't like this, maybe. Yeah, I don't think I need that. So I'm just going to take it off. I think the lettering is good enough. So, okay, so then I'm going to have to do the same here. Let's just do this lettering right here really quick. This will be easier. Panel 4. Looks like I got rid of the other one. get the correct font going here. So there's been some drama. There's been some drama in the world today. There's so much drama about everything, but there's been some comic books drama that's been ongoing, and I'm sure some of you have been watching it. And without referring to the drama, there is something that was interesting. There's been some critiques of a certain book that have come out. And one of them was about the way there was some random it seems that when this controversial book was lettered, there was some, what am I trying to say? I'm sorry, I'm thinking and doing at the same time. Let's see, there was some controversy or some confusion about the way the person had bolded the words in the comic, so like in comic books, as you can see here, I bolded some words, and that's like a standard thing that comic book people do. Letterers, they bold certain certain words in the balloons to add emphasis. And you know, I haven't really I don't really know what the I just guessed myself. I'm sure that guy who did his book just guessed. And damn it, let's see here. And I don't know if there's, what I guess I'm getting at is it made me think about when I do it. Like, am I doing it right? Or is mine just like a total cluster too, like his? Yeah, I'm not liking this bubble. It, apparently the complaint on that one was that it was like all over the place and totally didn't make sense. So, and that he needed an editor and didn't have one and maybe needed one. So reading about that was just making me think about my own and just wondering, like I said, if I'm doing it right, and wondering if there's like if there's like a place online where you can find some like hard and fast rules on that. Like, I know that I feel like this balloon is too wide. It should be tighter on, like maybe I should make it more lengthwise. I don't know. I feel like I have a preference for the way manga balloons are because they write up and down vertically, and I think that looks nicer than the linear shit that we have here in Western comics because of our way we write is landscape, not portrait. And I wish, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Again, I think I worry. That feels pretty good. That feels like it's not too tight. Like, you don't want the balloons to be too tight, but you don't want them to be too big either, right? They need to have that. Anyway, and also the other thing is, like, when I'm lettering, I've noticed I don't like the way the this font puts these dots, the ellipses, no, whatever these are. Good Lord, I can't talk today. I need more coffee. I don't like how close together they put them, so I always space them out. And I always put an extra space in there, but then I shrink it. So don't just, I guess what I'm trying to say is when you letter your stuff, and this is just my opinion as a non-professional comic book letterer, don't just have it come straight out of whatever it is your computer does, right? You want to make sure that you adjust the spacing, you adjust the kerning between the letters if it needs to be, and you hand adjust stuff, right? Don't just take it. Like the first couple of pages, I was just putting -1 line space between these, but now I feel it looks better with a -2, but I'm probably not going to go back and fix the first couple pages because it's so small. I don't think readers are going to notice. But from now on, with this font, I make it so that it's -2 on the line spacing, and I adjust, like I said, all of these ellipses so they're easier to read, and I don't just take the font as it comes. And you should, no matter what program you're working in, you should always be mindful. Like in Photoshop, you should be mindful of that too, right? If you're working in Photoshop and not Manga Studio, you should convert your text to paragraphs, and you should adjust the kerning of things. Don't just like leave your lines. It's nicer if when you're lettering in Photoshop, if you adjust your text to a paragraph instead of just keeping it as lines of text. When I do like lettering for clients in like graphic design work, it's easier that way and it looks nicer. So that's a tip. Okay. All right, now the last thing I have to do on this page is I have to make the zoom lettering here on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a new layer. I'm going to grab that pen again. This pen I'm using is in a downloaded pen I got off of ClipStudio Assets. And it's got a Japanese name, so I don't know what it is. It's in Japanese. Okay, so now I just need to play around with the lettering on this guy and see what I do. The original I had the Z and the O offset like this. But I also had it more, the panel was more landscape. So I had more room to play with it. Than I do here. this is going to be a problem. So before I had it, I'm trying to figure out how I had it before. I had it more up here, like I had it more, it was back more like that before, but don't really have, I mean, I could just make this smaller. I want to fill up a little bit of the bottom because let's see this. This is a pretty big panel. What I need to do is take the, all right, let's see. I need to say okay on this, and then I need to stretch it. I need to stretch it. So I need to make this like this, and then I need to find the, there's a setting that it's like, where is that? Here we go. I want to take, there's a checkbox here on scale. When you look at the tool property settings, you have a checkbox that you can do that says keep ratio of original image. If you keep that checked, it will always scale it in the correct ratio. If you uncheck it, then you can warp the text. I'm not sure I even like that, to be honest. And by warp the text, I mean change it so that it's not. All right, so I kind of like the M being underneath the legs. So now let's get the lasso out. It's still not right. It's not right. It's not right. It isn't right. It isn't right. It's like, I want it to be this curve. I should just give up and go play video games. I'm probably going to have to redraw this whole thing. Not the whole thing, the lettering here, which is okay. It's just, you know, sometimes you have to. So how much thought do you guys put into your sound effects lettering? There's a real art to it that I don't know. And I mean, you, like, when you see it done well, it's like not as obvious when it's done well as when it's done crappy, right? Like, now look at how distorted my lettering is getting. So I'm, as far as like, it's totally losing the JPEG. It's like, you know, the raster is getting more and more blurry. So that's why it's like, this is just a, what am I trying to say? I have to go over it because when you change things this much in I don't know that this is the right solution, but let's take a look at it when I ink over it. when you change things this much in ClipStudio, it loses. So that's one thing you have to be aware of. Even if you do it like a couple times, you might have to sharpen the layer back up because it degrades when you're just copying rasters. So if I had wanted to do this smart, I would have actually set this up as a vector layer. Because I have, this program has vector capabilities. So if I wanted to keep the lettering that I had drawn as I adjusted it and I wasn't planning on copying it over, I should have drawn it on a vector layer. Then it would not have degraded like this. But I drew it on a whoops, I gotta switch pins back. You know what I'm trying to say. I did it on a raster layer instead of a vector layer, and therefore it degraded. It's just kind of funny too, because in that crap, I'm doing this on the wrong layer. Poopy. In that controversial comic that's out there right now, there was some critiques of it online. And some screen grabs of it, of the pages. And in one of them, there was like somebody was complaining about the way the artist had drawn sound effects. And, it's like when I think, oh, who's really gonna care as much as I do about this stupid sound effect? And I might not even be making the best one I can right here. But that person didn't even look like they tried. They just scribbled it in with pencils and just like left it there, and it wasn't kerned right, and it was awful. Actually, it was awful. So I guess the thing is now, maybe if that person didn't have so many haters, they wouldn't have said anything about that sound effect not being that great. So maybe if you're a nice if you don't have haters, I don't know, maybe that person's nice. I don't know these people. If you don't have haters, then probably people aren't going to pick you quite as much. But you gotta balance. You gotta actually at least look like you tried, right? You gotta look like you played with the position and wording and tried to make it look good. I guess. The page looked like it was just penciled and not even inked. So there was like, but you could erase and get it to look right. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't necessarily think that this is any better than what that person did, but what I'm saying is at least I know that I've tried several different options. And see, right now I'm thinking that this is not I don't know if I like the spacing on this or not. Do you think that the words are just too separated out? Like the lettering could be tighter maybe? I think my lettering looks better up there than it does here. I think this idea is the good one, is the right one, but I think that I need to give it a little bit more something. So let's grab I'm gonna have to put some action lines on it too. I think the reason in the original Photoshop version I used doing it in color and I wasn't capable of making clean curved lines easily, and so I didn't use action lines in the original. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't be criticizing anybody else's work, I guess, because this isn't like, I mean, I'm happy with this. I think it looks suitably finished, and oh, I'm gonna have to change that because I got rid of that up there. Wait, I better do this while I'm thinking about it. Hold on, let's go up there so I don't forget. Where are the inks? Here we go. I was originally going to block that off, so I didn't ink it, but it's not blocked off, so it needs to be finished. I guess what I'm trying to say is this might not be, I might not be, why isn't this working? Just, I don't know how much effort that person put in there, I guess, into their work. Where are the inks? Oh, durr. Okay, I need to be in panel 2. That's the problem. But I mean, that's the problem. If you start saying, wow, this isn't really that great, or they didn't do this, that, anything, then you leave yourself open up to people saying, well, your shit ain't that great either, Karen. So, because I don't have those, you know, I'm just an indie like the rest of you guys. I'm just an indie, and I'm all for indies. Indies rule. And we shouldn't be tearing each other down, but that person's pretty toxic, so that's why they were getting all the hate. Okay. So I guess the moral of the story is if you're going to be toxic, at least make sure that your work is like top notch so that people can't tear you down on that and they can only critique you for being toxic and not for your arts, for example. Okay, I need to find this tool here. That's not what I want to do. I need to go here and have this thing, and I need to go into this, and I need to grab that, and this is panel 3. I'm getting all confused. All right, this is panel 3. Let's try this again. This brush is pretty this might be a little bit better, but this is still a little bit, the O's need to be, so okay, well, guess what, yeah, so like I might not be making the best art here, but at least I really tried. I really tried to make this lettering work. I didn't just half-ass it. Yeah. I think that looks better. Okay, so then I can get rid of that. And then get rid of that. And then get, I don't think that had anything to do with anything. That's the original. Uh-oh. Where's my... Alright, those are my inks. I better label that before I delete it. Alright. Now I'm going to go back up here and switch back my tool. Let me get my regular drawing pen out. And we are going to ink this. Here we go. That needs to be fatter. All right, let's take a look at that. That's better. So now I can delete this. And I need to use my magic wand tool, make sure that the anti-aliasing is on, expand the width out, and then what I'm going to do is set the gradient on this guy again. It should start it in its own layer, right? Yes. All right, except how does that look? I think that looks okay. Should it go white because the legs are white? So then the other thing that I would need to do is try to put some action lines on there. Okay, so file, save. So ClipStudio's got all the good action line love in here. So let's go to our special rulers. I am terrible at doing these. So I picked the No, I don't want that ruler. I want the special ruler. And I choose that, and then I need to go to Tool Properties, and I want the multiple curve. Or the parallel curve? Parallel curve. Let's try that. All right, that gives us our ruler, and then so let's give us a new drawing layer. So if I have a new drawing layer, that means that I need to stick this show on all layers because I accidentally put it on my gradient, which is fine, I can delete it. And then I can draw a bunch of lines. See? If my computer, see, it follows that curve. All right, but I don't think, I'm not sure how to do this so it looks right. Let's, I could do it with my other, let's drop that below. I'm not sure I like this. I don't know how to do I don't know how to do action lines and make them look good yet. It's something I'm all right, I don't like that. It's something I am working on, like learning. I need to study more action manga. So that I know how to do it. If I was really clever and really good at this, then I would blur out. You know how they do in action manga where they blur the actual lines of the drawing when the hand is moving so fast, for example, in a kick that, I mean, or a kick, a hand and a kick, in a punch or a kick or whatever, they'll have the actual like line. They draw an actual jagged line like this. Pretty sweet, but that's not the style of this comic. So I just need a few well-placed lines to make this look right, probably. Whoops. How did I draw? Oh, because I'm still on the wrong layer. Yeah, I just don't know. Oops. Damn it. I'm screwing up left and right here, people. All right. All right. I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of this. Maybe I need to adjust my ruler. Let's try that. See if I can adjust it. All right, so let's get this curve. Working better for us. Okay. Whoops. No, 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 no. Go back. All right, it's yeah, I'm just trying to, I got to find the right balance between detail and simplicity here. All right, let's look at that. That's probably okay. I'm going to save that ruler just in case I decide I don't like it. So I should probably do the same then to make it match. Up in panel 2. All right, so I need to grab that ruler again. And all right, this time I made the ruler on a new layer, so I can just nope, that's not going to be the right angle. Shoot. Well, it'll be the right angle here. I guess maybe I need to just put a second ruler on it. Let's try this. See, I'm learning. I am learning. I'm going to adjust this here on this second one. So to do that, I have to grab my... What the heck did I do to this thing? Whoa. Okay. All right. My nodes are all ugly. All right, and then maybe this needs to go more like this. I don't know. know if you can see what I'm doing here. I mean, first of all, you probably can't see anything I'm doing because the stream is so laggy, but all right, now, oh, it's green, so I got to click on it. I accidentally undid. All right, now let's try this. All right. Okay, so the lesson here is maybe for zoom, I need to have 2 different rulers on that as well. So you can combine rulers onto one layer. So let's close this up. Not sure I'm happy with these, but I think I'm just going to leave them. All right, now, except for this one, I am going to get rid of, wait a minute. I'm going to get rid of these right here. And I'm going to get a second ruler out and make, there we go, and now. All right, so you guys are learning along with me. So that looks sort of slightly better, maybe. I'm going to leave it, and if I can't live with it, then... All right, so now I am ready, I think, to save it. And I'll show you what I do. So I have this other program called Scribus. And I'm going to move it over here so you can see it. And Scribus is a freeware program that lets you lay out. So instead of using like Adobe Publisher or whatever they use, and it's not even Publisher now. I don't even know what the hell it's called. I have this. It's free. And it's a little bit buggy and it's a little bit awkward, but it's free and it makes books. So I've got the pages set up 6 by 9. So what I'm going to do, I've got a couple placeholder pages here for, let's see, this will be like the title, the copyright page on the inside of the cover. Then I'll have the title page. And I'll probably have a dedication or something to my kid since I'm doing this for him. And then I start with page 1. And I've got this as a template. I'm saving these all the same ways, but this is, instead of laying these out, like I could have done this 2 different ways. I could have, had each one of these panels saved as a separate illustration and then laid them out in this program. And then the page number I can set easily in this program. But because I wanted to make this as simple and as fast as possible and everything was going to be in the same template, I'm doing it all, the pages I'm saving as a one big JPEG, and then I'm just importing it. So here's page 2, then page 3, and then page 4. So then what I need to do now is I take this and I just right click on it and I say copy. And I go down to the next